Okay, everybody. Today we're going to look into dynamic drop-down fields in your SuiteCRM system. My name is Bastian Hammer, your go-to expert when it comes to all things CRM, marketing automation, e-commerce, and sales integration. Okay, so let's go. I assume that you have your system up and running and you're currently building out your processes and your data structure. Now you're figuring out it makes sense that you have some sub-selects or some dynamic drop-down. That means if somebody selects like a parent category, they automatically should get like 2 or 3 child categories. If this person selects a different category, parent category, there should be different subcategories. So let me show you one example. If you go to the cases, and then you will see it if you create a new case here. And then you've got the state open. So this is how a case happens to start usually. There you've got assigned and new and pending input. Okay. And then if you finish with the case, you ran through it and you kind of solved it, then you switch it to closed. And on closed, you got closed, rejected or duplicate. As you can see, now this is a depending or like a parent-child relationship drop-down, a dynamic drop-down, so to say. And you can imagine that you would want to have this in other areas as well. And best of all, if you do this everywhere, you want to make it a bit easier for your people, for your team to input data, but at the same time, you want to be able to build reports on this data. So where else do you want to have this? Maybe inside the leads. Maybe you want to have the continent or something, and then the country, additionally to the standard address. So in this case, people could then go ahead and click easily on the continent, and then they can't do anything else anymore. Or maybe if you're working with different brands, and within the different brands, you've got different items or products, different product lines. And then if somebody picked brand A, they can only pick products from brand A. If somebody picked brand B, they can only pick products from brand B. So that makes sense if you want to assure that your data is very clean. And just to demonstrate this, we do like the continent, like a geographical breakdown into different areas. And in order to do this, for the lead, I would go into the admin panel and then go to the studio. Inside the studio, I would open my leads here and I add those fields. So the first field that I need to add is the parent. And the parent would be a drop down as well. And the field name, so we now need to pay attention to this one. Maybe we call it region, maybe we call it continent or something. Would work either way. So, and now it's very important. I'm adding details. So I can always keep it empty or open just in case somebody doesn't know yet. Okay, this lead just came in newly. I have no idea where this lead comes from. I will fill it out later on. So therefore we've got one blank option here. But then we've got European, Middle East, and Africa. And we can make the display label just the same. And then, just as an example, I would add North America. And the display label will be North America. So, and that's already it for the sample. Of course, you can go way further. You can make it more complex. You can break down like by country and counties or something. You can break down like many different product lines. You can break it down by industry and sub-industry or something. What fits your needs and where you want to go very specific into the reports and in maybe lead segmentation. So. Now we've done this one here. We've got the parent basically in place. And now we need to use this parent as a related list, so to say. And therefore I'm checking out the name of my parent here. So region _C. And that's very important. We memorize this simply now. And now I'm adding another field. And the other field is now a dynamic dropdown, which is fairly similar. And I call it subregion. So, and in this subregion, I would add another drop-down list. But first, let me enter this one here. So we've got the parent drop-down, which is region _C. So very important to use the database name of your parent drop-down here. And once you've configured this, totally fine, we can go ahead and add details. So again, just in case somebody doesn't know yet where exactly this person comes from, then I add one blank line as an option. So, and now if somebody should be coming from, let's say, Germany, then I would enter this one here. So Europe, Middle East, Africa, and the item name would be Germany. And now the display label is Germany. So as you can see, we're using EMEA, which is the parent identifier, or the parent key of the dropdown. And we're using a specific label, which just makes sense here in this circumstance or in this context. So, and then I would just add another one, France. And then maybe we add something for North America, which is United States. Oh, see, already wrong. So, and then we would add US as a key into the database, and United States as the label, because we can't use a space here inside the label, inside the database name. So, and then we've got maybe Canada as well. Canada, and add this here as well. Okay, this should already be it. Now I save the whole thing here, and I'm in my subregion. The subregion list has been associated correctly. Now I can do all the other sorts of things with the fields. Maybe make it required. If you want to make it required, make sure that you've got an empty option as well, because then people can add an empty option. If you want to see whether they changed the country, then click the audit, mass update. Sometimes it makes sense if you want to mass correct data or something. So then I save this here. For the details, check out my video on the fields. I've got more video on fields with all the general details here and when to use what. So then we don't go into further depth here. But now I want to display it as well. So if I create a new lead, or if I just open up a lead, look into the details, I want to see it as well. And it seems to be like very important to me. So therefore I'm putting it here into the third row already. And then I simply have to add those two fields, which is region and subregion here at the very bottom. So I need to move this up here. So as you can see, it's not very convenient, but what we can do is we move this a bit further down. If you have a bigger screen, you wouldn't even notice the issue. But I'm recording on the laptop, so therefore that can be a bit of an issue. And I've got the zoom in as well, so therefore you might not notice or might not see the issue at all. So, and then we click Save and Deploy. It will be synced automatically to my detail view. If you want to know all about the views, check out my video on the views and SuiteCRM system. There we go into the details about when and where and how to configure those views. Okay, now I'm already here inside the Create Link form. I refresh it by pressing F5. And as you can see, now I've got the region, and the region is European, and there I've got Germany. And now I would need to add one example name. And now I create yet another lead, and I call it last 02. And this one is from the region North America, and here I've got the United States and Canada as options. Then I would save this one here. And as you can see, it's fairly simple to build these logics. And now you've got access to those if you're building, for instance, reports. Now, with this knowledge, you can drill down into the reports and see how many leads through which campaign in which geographical region got into your system. If you do this via just the address with the country, it's a bit more difficult. So you can do this as well, maybe with workflows, but still the countries could differ. There's different data. You might need to correct the data as well. Check out my video on the data, working with data and data quality inside your CRM system. And you'll see the issues that can arise there. So I usually recommend, if anyhow possible, use drop-downs, use numbers, use date fields rather than string or like text fields where people can just enter whatever they want to enter there. Okay, let's quickly recap. So we have looked into the reasons why you would use those dynamic drop-down fields. It really helps for creating reports, for structuring your data much better because you don't have any free text values which could skew reports and numbers and KPIs and everything. And then we have looked into how to build those. So you can just create a drop-down and a child drop-down. And then you've got this one here, so you can select the regions and then the sub-regions. And you will have like structured data and you have very few data mistakes or data entry mistakes that your team is making because they only have like a smaller list to pick from. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.